Thank you for joining today's event, No Stethoscope Required, sponsored by Iowa Work-Based Learning Coordinators and hosted by the Iowa Intermediary Network. Today's moderator is Autumn Larson with the Iowa Intermediary Network at Iowa Lakes Community College. Our panelists today are Jessica Burge, Andrea Haynes, and Kelly Klein from Mercy One.
Thank you all for joining us today. Why don't we start out our conversation with some introductions. So Kelly, why don't you start out and talk about your position and your background with Mercy One?
I'm the medical imaging manager, so I am in charge of the x-ray techs at the hospital. I went to school at Covenant Medical Center of Radiology and got a certificate, and then I came to work here. I've been here for almost 24 years. I've had a variety of different positions here at the hospital, but I have gone back to school and got my bachelor's and my master's, and so now I'm the manager.
Very good. Jessica, how about you? Can you introduce yourself and talk about your position?
Yeah, my name is Jessica Burge. I am the pharmacy technician manager at Mercy One Medical Center. And since I've been with Mercy, I have been with Mercy for about 7 years now. I started out as a pharmacy technician, medication history technician, and I kind of worked my way up through that. So I was the supervisor of the med history technicians, and then in September I took the management position, which manages all of the technicians at our main campus, including med history techs at our main and West Des Moines campus, and then our inpatient technicians at our main campus. So I have been a technician for about 15 years now, where I had worked in our retail setting prior to this, and then I have been with Mercy since then. So excited kind of for my new role with all the technicians, and yeah, that's kind of my background.
All right, very good. How about you, Andrea?
Hi, I'm Andrea Haynes. I'm the Laboratory Director of Hospital Services here at Mercy One. I oversee all of the testing that's done in our laboratories. That includes the core lab, which is blood bank, hematology, and chemistry. I also oversee anatomic pathology, which is histology and cytology. Microbiology is also on the list. I also oversee the pre-analytic area, so I take over phlebotomy and specimen processing, and that includes the West Des Moines laboratory as well. I attended the University of Iowa, 15 years ago. I'm dating myself. 15 years ago, I received my bachelor's in science. I attended the clinical laboratory science program, which is a one-year program, and I received a certificate. And I've been at Mercy for 15 years now.
Right. It's great to hear from medical professionals that have a wide range of experience. One of the things we kind of wanted to focus on today were medical professionals that are beyond just kind of typically what we think of, doctors, nurses, that kind of thing. So what types of support roles exist within healthcare? Kelly, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so in medical imaging specifically, you could be an x-ray tech, you could be a CT tech, you could do ultrasound, you could do mammography, interventional radiology, MRI. We have some other roles within our IT area. A PACS person, that is where we save all of our x-rays and images. We have nurses that work in our department. We also have schedulers, billers, transcriptionists, and administrators.
So there's a lot of variety, even just within one department that we might not necessarily think of.
Yeah.
How about in the lab, Andrea?
Yeah, we have medical technologists, which those have the Bachelor's of Science degree. We also have medical technicians. They do the same type of testing, but they have an associate's degree versus a bachelor's degree. We have lab assistants, we have phlebotomists, we have the quality management coordinator, we have regulatory staff, we have billers, IT personnel, administration, histologist, cytotechnologist. So the list is quite extensive, like medical imaging.
Jessica, what about in the pharmacy? What kind of careers are available?
Yeah, so in the pharmacy, we have lots of different kind of career paths. For technicians specifically, we just recently started a technician in training program to help those who are not currently certified when they come on to achieve certification. We have med history technicians who interview our patients and help collect a history of medications that the patient's taking prior to admission. We have technicians in our inpatient pharmacy who help with distribution. And then we also have technicians in our outpatient pharmacies, which we have 3 in kind of the metro area. And then we also have pharmacists. So those pharmacists are going to school to get their degree. So technicians do not have to go to school currently to get their kind of certification, but pharmacists do. So, and then within the pharmacist, there's lots of different areas that they can specialize in as well.
Very good. This question is for Andrea. What are some of the benefits of working in kind of a non-patient facing role in healthcare?
For the laboratory, it's kind of a joke. A lot of introverts work in the laboratory. They don't have to see patients. And, that's more of the analytical mind. But I think at the same time, you still feel like you're contributing to somebody's diagnosis and well-being. So I think that really is the biggest benefit, is just being in the medical field. But, if you're not really outgoing or you'd rather just keep to yourself, it's a good profession to be in.
All right. So something for everybody. Jessica, how about you? What are some benefits of kind of the non-patient facing? It sounds like maybe there's a mix in the pharmacy of people that work with patients and people who are kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah, I definitely think there is, especially in the pharmacy world, you can kind of find something that will suit you. And so for me as a manager, it's nice that I do kind of have a mix. So I try when I'm interviewing to see what will be best for that candidate, whether it's in the inpatient pharmacy where you are not seeing patients or in a med history role or outpatient role where you are. So I think the benefits kind of range. Definitely with this, you, as a pharmacy technician, you don't have to go to school. You do have to have some experience or go through an accredited program, but that's really nice for people looking for a different kind of career path that maybe doesn't involve college or things like that. That is definitely attractive to candidates. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest things is just people knowing that they don't have to go to a 2-year or 4-year college to go down this career path.
Kelly, why don't you talk about some of the considerations that one should consider when pursuing a career in healthcare?
So I think the biggest thing to think about is why you're doing it. We call it a calling here. So you're called to serve others and take care of others. Something else to think about is where you want to work. Do you want to work at a hospital? Do you want to work at a clinic? Those are kind of different atmospheres. The hours are different. At the hospital, we're always open. Doesn't matter if there's a snowstorm or if it's Christmas, we're here. But our patients are here too. And so we need to be here to take care of them.
Andrea, do you have any considerations for somebody that's pursuing a career in healthcare?
I would just say, since I've started 15 years ago, the healthcare industry is very fluid, so be open to change. Reimbursement's different, technology, you have to be kind of tech savvy. There's so many programs now that we use, probably 5 different programs in one night just to log samples in and, track them and result them. Also technology for, our analyzers is different for each vendor. So being tech savvy and I think open to change and the fast pace is a key as well.
All right, very interesting. Jessica, how about you? What are some things that someone should consider if they're thinking about a career in healthcare?
I definitely agree with Andrea in the fact that there is lots of change. So whether it's within your department specifically or the organization as a whole, definitely, during COVID, that has been a definite eye opener with having to change things like in the drop of a hat to make sure that your team is, being kept safe, as well as, how do we make sure that we're still doing our part for the patients. So definitely just being open to change is something to consider, but also just the fact that there is so many different opportunities within an organization like Mercy One, but also the pharmacy profession in itself.
All right, and that kind of leads into the next question. Let's talk a little bit about the outlook for your career area. We hear a lot about the job market right now, and a lot of careers are booming. So, Kelly, what's the job outlook in medical imaging?
Yeah, we need help. We are always looking for someone to help us out. We do lots of different kinds of testing. We test on inpatients, outpatients, ER patients. We go to the OR. And we do lots of promoting from within. So the people in our department that are doing our PACs and our IT stuff, they were X-ray techs at one point, and now they're doing other things. So there's lots of different growth opportunities here.
Andrea, how about you? What's some of the career outlooks for a lab?
Oh, anything you want, you can have. Obviously, we have a lot more retirees in our field than we do graduates coming in. So the last 5 or so years ago, we've been struggling with, bringing in new grads and keeping up with our FTEs and whatnot. But like Kelly, a lot of the techs advanced different advanced roles. So IT, quality management, administration, things along those lines. So the roles are always opening, and we always need somebody to test the specimen. So good outlook.
Good. Jessica, how about the pharmacy? What's the career outlook like for that?
I'd have to agree with the other two that there's always jobs available, and we're kind of always looking for people. Unfortunately, right now, like a lot of other areas, there is a technician shortage nationwide. So it's kind of been hard to find technicians. So that's kind of why we have kind of created a tech and training program now, so we can bring people on and train them ourselves. But yes, as far as some of the different roles, we've definitely expanded the role of the pharmacy technician, and that's kind of just been the broad range of pharmacy techs, but also in like at Mercy One as well. We have team leaders, charge techs, coordinators, supervisors, and then my role is kind of new to a pharmacy technician, so now managers. So I think we do a good job of providing a broad range of opportunities for the technicians.
All right. So we talked a little bit about some of your educational background, but let's go a little bit deeper. What kind of ongoing trainings do you have? What kind of education have you pursued since entering into your career? Andrea, do you want to start?
Sure. There's a lot of different avenues that you can get your certification for laboratory. I should say that there's a big misconception that, if you go to college and you graduate with a microbiology degree or a chemistry degree, that you'll be able to work in a clinical laboratory setting, and that's not true. You have to have a medical technology certified program. It's a 1-year course. And so there's several programs in the state. I know Mercy College has one. Allen College in Waterloo has another program. And so you must graduate from those in order to test clinical specimens. With that being said, there's also specialties that you can achieve. So you can get your blood bank specialty, which is just, you have to have X amount of years, and you can sit for an exam and get deemed a specialist in whatever category that you wish. A lot go get their master's if they're in administration. So yeah, those are the main avenues that you can for education.
Okay. Jessica, how about in the pharmacy? What is some of the ongoing education or some options? You've talked a little bit about your own training program at Mercy One.
Yeah. So in order to become a certified pharmacy technician, you do have to have at least 500 hours of experience or go through an accredited program to sit for the national exam. So we currently go through PTCB, which is Pharmacy Technician Certification Board. There is one other certifying avenue as well, but we have been using PTCB because there's different opportunities for advancement through them. So right now we do hire on for like full-time FTEs. We do require you to be certified, but through our technician training program, you can be a trainee for 1 year with the Iowa Board of Pharmacy, where we are providing you with the 500 hours of experience. So once that 500 hours is done, you can sit for your exam. We do provide all of kind of the studying materials. We have study sessions with some of our certified techs. So we're just kind of being that in between to provide that experience to be able to sit for that exam. But those are the two avenues that you can go down to become certified as a technician. There used to be a lot more kind of training programs, but those have kind of dwindled down throughout the years. We did kind of start partnering with our Mercy One College, but there has been a couple bumps in the road with that, just getting accredited and things like that. So as of right now, that's kind of what we're doing for our tech and training program. And then that's how you would become certified, is through those two avenues.
Okay. Kelly, do you want to talk a little bit about the education in the medical imaging department?
So it's a 2-year program for X-ray. After you do your 2-year program for X-ray, you can go on to learn on the job for CT, MRI, interventional mammography. If you want to go to ultrasound school, that is also a 2-year degree. Mercy College has both ultrasound and X-ray. So you spend 2 years working in the classroom and in the clinical setting here at the hospital, and they rotate to different clinics as well, and get their clinical experience, and then they sit for their boards. You have to have your boards passed before you can work as an X-ray technologist.
Right. So it's obvious there's a lot of passion from you guys about your jobs, and you've worked in your positions for quite a long time. What are some of your favorite things or your most rewarding things about working in healthcare? Jessica, do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just about whether I'm patient facing or not. It just really is about the patients, like knowing that whether I'm distributing medications to our Pyxis machine so the nurses can pull them for the patient, or I'm in the outpatient pharmacy, or doing med histories where I am actually seeing patients. That's kind of where my passion has come from. And then throughout the years, being able to be in a more like a leadership role, it's just been very nice to be able to see others achieve their goals and help them to, take care of our patients and see some of those passions within them. So I definitely think, 10 years ago, I didn't think of being a pharmacy technician as necessarily a career, but more of a job. And that's definitely changed over the years. So being able to encourage that in others and help them to see that this can be a career and not just, a job that you keep for a while. You can do it for a very long time, and there's lots of different opportunities.
Great. Andrea, how about you? What's a rewarding part of healthcare for you?
Sure. I think for me, what I really enjoyed is being, as in leadership, sort of a project manager, and seeing those projects complete. And that really motivates me, and just making sure all the right players in the right place. Some technology, I guess, is really up and coming in the laboratory. So heading some of those projects where that technology is really allowing us to diagnose accurately and quicker for our patients is just, it's the technology, I can't say enough, has just grown over the last 10, 20 years or so. So, as those patients come in the ER and we noticed in the laboratory the first blast cell, so it's an indication that they may have leukemia. We're on it and it's quick diagnosis. We let the physician know. So I think for me, implementing big projects that include technology that's up and coming has really been satisfying.
Good. Kelly, what's rewarding for you in healthcare?
The patient care, being there to be able to hold a hand for a patient or give them a hug if they need a hug. Sometimes we're laughing along with them. Sometimes we're crying along with them. Just being there as another person to be supportive. I would also agree that as being a manager, being able to coach and mentor my team and see them doing the same things has been very rewarding as well.
Great. So we have a lot of students watching who might be interested in pursuing a career in healthcare. What are some of their next steps they should take, or what's some advice that you might give them as they're looking into different healthcare careers? Andrea, do you want to start with that one?
Sure, I would just make sure they're taking courses that apply to the Bachelor of Science or the associate's degree. If they're interested in laboratory, seek out different programs. They're all different in their own way. Some are 1 year, some can be 2 years. You can also take the exam after you work an X amount of years. So there's many different ways that you can achieve your certification within our job description. So I would just advise pick out a program that suits you. Some people may have to work and they can also achieve their degree at the same time while they work and achieve a higher certification. The next would be they have to sit their further exam with ASCP, which is the American Society of Clinical Pathology. We do require that certification. And then beyond that, we do continuing education. So that's 36 CEUs per 3 years. So you have to keep continuing your education afterwards. So,
Kelly, what do you think are some next steps that our high school students could take?
I would agree to look into seeing what programs are out there. Job shadowing would be a great idea. Go and see if your local hospital offers that, and you can go in and watch and see exactly what they do. I also took healthcare classes in high school that were at a college level. A lot of the high schools offer that. You can just kind of see what it's like to work in a clinical setting with a patient.
Good. Jessica, do you have anything else to add about things our high school students could do as they're looking into a career in healthcare?
I think Kelly and Andrea actually did a good job of answering that. Just the job shadowing, I definitely think if that's an opportunity for them, that's really important to kind of just actually see what is going on in some of those healthcare jobs. And then, yeah, just kind of reaching out if you know someone that's in like the pharmacy or the lab or anything like that, asking the questions and kind of seeing from people's perspective what they like about it. So definitely just asking those questions, seeing about job shadowing, and taking as many classes as you can in high school that would help you in those first couple of years of college.
Great. I think that's some great advice and some great next steps. And definitely have to advocate for the job shadowing. Students can contact their regional intermediaries. We all have a pretty good idea of what hospitals and healthcare settings can get you set up with a job shadow. So I think that's another great piece of advice. We just want to thank you all very, very much for joining us today. I think the conversation was very interesting, and it's great to hear from a variety of different professionals who are so passionate about their careers.
thank you.
Yes, thank you to
Thank
Jessica. Thank you to Jessica, Andrea, and Kelly for Mercy One for sharing your time and career insight today. For past recordings and upcoming events, visit iowain.org.